farming and life. I am an old man now. My hair is white and my hands shake, but I still remember my father. He was a strong man with kind eyes. He worked on the farm every day, from morning to night. He never complained. He just smiled and kept going. We lived in a small house near the fields. The house was old, but it was full of love. My father woke up very early. He drank a cup of hot tea, picked up his hat, and walked to the fields. I was still in bed, but sometimes I watched him from the window. He told me many things. He said, "Wonderland is like a friend. Take care of it, and it will take care of you." I did not understand at first. I was just a boy, but I listened to him carefully. One day, he let me help him. He gave me a small bag of seeds. "Push the seed in the ground," he said, "not too deep. The seed needs air and light too." I followed his steps. I felt proud. We worked side by side. The sun was hot and my shirt was wet, but I was happy. My father looked at me and smiled. "You are learning," he said. His words stayed in my heart. In the evening we sat under the big tree near the house. He gave me cool water to drink. We watched the sky change colours. He told me stories about the land, the rain and the seasons. I didn't know it then, but those stories were full of wisdom. My father never went to school for long. He said the land was my classroom. He learned everything from the earth, the animals and the sky. He knew when the rain would come. He knew which seeds were strong and which ones were weak. Sometimes people from the village came to ask for his help. They brought sick plants or dry soil. My father looked, touched, and gave them simple advice. "Water it at night," he would say, or "let the soil rest." They always thanked him. One day, a big storm came. The wind was strong and the rain was heavy. I was afraid. I ran to the window and saw our plants bending in the storm. I cried, "Father, the farm is broken." But he stayed calm. He put his hand on my shoulder and said, "And the land is strong. It will grow again. Don't be afraid." I didn't understand how he could be so sure, but I trusted him. The next morning we went outside. Many plants were flat on the ground. I was sad, but my father knelt down and touched the soil. "It's still good," he said. "We will plant again. Life always comes back." That was the first time I saw how strong he truly was, not just in his arms, but in his heart. He didn't give up. He didn't get angry. He worked with nature, not against it. We began planting again that same day. My hands were tired, but my heart was full. I wanted to be like him, strong, kind, and patient with the land. My father always woke up early. Before the sun came up, he was already outside. I remember the sound of his boots on the wooden floor. It was still dark, but he moved with purpose. He started the day by feeding the chickens and the cow. He spoke to them softly. "And good morning, my friends," he would say. The animals seemed to understand. They trusted him. I watched him and smiled. After that, he worked in the field. He held the hoe in his hands and moved slowly between the rows. He checked the leaves, pulled out weeds and touched the soil. He always said, "And farm needs care like a child. Be gentle, be patient." One morning I asked, "Father, why do you work so hard?" He looked at me and said, "So because food does not come from the store. It comes from love, time and effort." I didn't understand it all, but his words stayed in my heart. Later that day, we picked tomatoes. The sun was hot and my back hurt. I said, "Pinnis is hard." He laughed and gave me water. "Yes," he said, "but it's also beautiful. You will see." That evening, we sat together, eating the tomatoes we had picked. They were sweet and fresh. "Now," he said, "you taste the work, you taste the joy." I smiled and nodded. I was beginning to understand. One day, a big storm came. The sky turned dark and the wind was strong. Rain fell fast and heavy. I was scared. I looked at my father. He was calm. He closed the windows and said, "One the storm will pass. We must wait." The next morning we went outside. The field was full of water. Some plants were broken. I felt sad. "And farm is ruined," I said. My father shook his head. "No, my son, not ruined, just hurt. We will help it heal. We worked all day. We cleaned the mud. We fixed the broken fences. We picked up the plants that could still grow. It was hard work, but we did not stop." At night I asked him, "Why don't you give up?" He smiled and said, "Because the farm gives us life. When it's in pain, we help it. Just like family." That day I learned a big lesson. I learned that real strength is quiet. It is not shouting. It is not big muscles. Real strength is helping, even when it's hard. My father showed me that, and from that day on, I looked at him not just as a farmer, but as a teacher of life. As I grew older, my work on the farm changed. I could carry heavy buckets. I could plant seeds by myself. My father gave me more to do. He said, "You are not a boy now. You are learning to be a man." One summer, it was very hot. The sun burned the ground. The plants were dry. We had no rain for many days. I was tired and angry. I said, "Why do we do this? It's too hard. The sun is too hot. The work never ends." My father sat down under a tree. He drank some water and gave me a cup. Then he said, "Life is not always easy, but we don't stop because it's hard. We keep going. We stay strong. That is how good things grow." His words stayed in my heart. That night I looked at the sky. The stars were bright. I thought about the seeds we planted. They were small, but they had hope. They needed care, water, and time. And I saw people are like seeds. We grow with care. We grow with love, and we grow through hard times. That summer, I didn't complain again. I worked with my father every day. I listened to him. I watched him. He never gave up. And because of that, neither did I. Years passed and I became a man. My father was older. His hands were slower. His back was tired. But his heart was still strong. He still woke up early. He still smiled at the sun. He still believed in hard work. One morning he called me to the field. He gave me the old shovel he always used. He looked at me and said, "Sis, land is yours now. Take care of it, and remember what I taught you." I looked at the farm. I saw the trees we planted, the soil we worked, and the home we built. I felt proud, but I also felt sad. My father had given me more than land. He gave me lessons for life. He taught me to be patient. He taught me to be strong. He taught me to love simple things, like the smell of the earth, the sound of rain, and the feeling of a hard day's work. Now I am an old man. I tell this story to young people like you. I want you to know life is not easy, but it is full of beauty. You just need to open your eyes. And like my father said, don't give up. Keep going. Good things take time. That is what my father, the farmer, taught me, and I will never forget.